Hey, what up you guys? This is Danny B. You're watching The Trash Dish, and in this video I'm going to be doing my top 20 for 2020 80s horror movies. And this was created by Horrific Nightmares JM and TheHORROman. They both came up with this idea, and here we go. So coming up at number 20 is A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. And, it kills me to put Freddy so low on the list, but it is in the top 20, and there's, so many great ones in the 80s, and that's just kind of where it fit in for me. But yeah, I always like Part 4. It's my favorite out of the Elm Street movies. So Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, number 20. Alright, coming up at number 19 is Child's Play. Love Child's Play. It's my favorite one out of the series as well. And 19, Child's Play. Coming up at number 18 is Maximum Overdrive. And Maximum Overdrive is, I saw that one when I was like, I think 11 years old or something like that, and I always loved it. It's basically a zombie movie with trucks, and it's directed by Stephen King. Alright, coming up at number 17 is Monster Squad. And this one is another one that has a lot of nostalgic value for me. Always loved Monster Squad. Number 16 is Ghostbusters. Another one with a lot of nostalgic value. This one was more than a movie to me. This, had breakfast cereal and toys and cartoons and everything associated with it. And the movie itself is awesome. I think I saw it in the theaters, actually. I think I was 1 or 2 years old. My dad took me to see it. Scared the shit out of me, especially the dog. All right, coming up at number 15 is House. And I love House. I saw that a long time ago, and I always loved that he doesn't run away from the ghosts. He actually stays to fight him. I always thought that was cool. All right, coming up at number 14 is The New York Ripper. So The New York Ripper is one that it's topped my favorites as an adult. I didn't see it till I was an adult, and I love it. It's super bizarre and trashy, just very cool. Coming up at number 13 is Psycho 3, and I fell in love with the Psycho movies, the sequels, when I was like, I think 15 or something. I watched all the sequels and I loved them. And Psycho 3 is my favorite one. So yeah, Psycho 3 is at its craziest. Alright, coming up at number 12 is Friday the 13th Part 4. And I always go back and forth which one I like more. Do I like Part 4 better or Part 5 better? I love both of them. And right now I'm kind of leaning more on Part 4. I went back to Part 4 as being my favorite one. Coming up at number 11 is Evil Dead 2. Out of all the Evil Dead movies, that one's always been my favorite. Coming up at number 10 is Pumpkinhead. This is another one I saw when I was a kid, and it scared the shit out of me. And I think this is, out of like all the 80s monster movies, like big monster things, I think the makeup of Pumpkinhead was the most terrifying. Coming up at number 9 is Creepshow 2. I always like Creepshow 2 slightly more than the original. I like the Hitchhiker segment the best, but what really sells it for me is the music and animation segments. I really love those. Alright, coming up at number 8 is Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2. Absolutely love the sequel to the original. It's just, I don't know, it's just hilarious to me. Coming up at number 7 is Halloween 2. Yeah, I love Halloween 2. I find myself rewatching Part 2 more than the original for some reason. Alright, coming up at number 6 is Sleepaway Camp. And this was my favorite slasher movie for a long time. It got beat out by one other. But yeah, I love Sleepaway Camp still. Alright, coming up at number 5 is Maniac. And this is the one that beat out Sleepaway Camp for me. Just super grimy, depressing. I think that's what I like about it, is the depressing element. Yeah, I don't know. I just love everything about this one. I think just all the elements came together. Alright, coming up at number 4 is Aliens. And fucking love Aliens. One of the very first horror movies I ever saw. So when I was about 5 years old, my dad rented Alien and Aliens, and we watched both of them back to back. Just love it. Aliens, number 4. Alright, coming up at number 3 is Gremlins. Always loved Gremlins. They're hilarious to me. Gremlins at number 3. Coming up at number 2 is Beetlejuice. And I always loved Beetlejuice. I always thought it was like so creative and hilarious and kind of scary at some parts. Michael Keaton kills the role, and then the story around it is pretty good. And yeah, I just love everything about Beetlejuice. Number 2 is Beetlejuice. And coming up at number 1 is Return of the Living Dead. And to me, Beetlejuice and Return of the Living Dead, you could switch them at any point. They go back and forth on which one is my favorite. But Return of the Living Dead, I feel, has more of a horror element than Beetlejuice to it. And just always love this. And this might be too much information, but I actually, the first time I ever made love to a woman was during a viewing of Return of the Living Dead. Return of the Living Dead has a special place in my heart. So yeah, Return of the Living Dead, number 1. Alright guys, that was my top 20 for 2020 80s horror movies. Make sure to check out everyone that's doing this. Just type in top 20 for 2020. Alright guys, this is Danny B. You're watching The Trash Dash. Hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what you think of these movies and what your favorite movies are too and stuff. Peace out.